and bumped his head when you claimed to put him out of car. And you pulled off and left my nephew in Gainesville, somewhere you and him the only ones there, no family, no people, no nothing. You left my nephew.
You got to be careful with them humble ones, you know what I'm saying? The people that's always smiling, the people that's always laughing, you know what I'm saying? The people that's always encouraging, the people that's always motivated.
A dispatch call comes through on December 27th, 2025. The voice is urgent. Pedestrian versus sedan. Caller is blocking the body with their vehicle to protect him from traffic. Under a bridge in Gainesville, Florida, a man lies in the road. Blood pools around his head. His eyes are closed. He's not moving. When first responders arrive, they find something strange. This man has no identification, no wallet, no driver's license, nothing to tell them who he is. But here's what makes this even more disturbing. He always carried 3 phones with him. Always. His family will later confirm this. He also carried 2 guns for protection. And he never left home without his wallet. So where are they? All 3 phones, gone. Both guns, missing. His wallet, nowhere to be found. But the pizza and wings he just bought from Papa John's, scattered on the ground next to his dying body. This man spent years sharing his love story online. Thousands watched him spoil his girlfriend with gifts, affection, and devotion. Now he's alone under a bridge, unidentified, dying. His girlfriend? She drove away. What happened in those 10 minutes between Papa John's and that bridge? And why is the woman he loved more than life itself refusing to answer? Welcome to Crazy Dark Files. If you want to help spread awareness about toxic relationships and the warning signs that could save innocent lives, then please like this video, share it, and subscribe to this channel. Your action now could help protect another person who might be in danger. What state or country are you watching from? Tyrone's story has reached people worldwide. Let's show his family they're not alone in demanding justice. Drop your location and thoughts in the comments. Now let's get to it. Tyrone Davis Jr. was more than just a name trending on social media after his death. He was a real person with a real family who loved him deeply. Online, people knew him as Stepdaddy Dro or T2. He had a TikTok and YouTube channel where he shared his life, his relationship, and his thoughts on love. But behind the screen was a man working hard every single day. Tyrone was a truck driver from Broward County, Florida. He spent long hours on the road, making a living to support himself and the people he cared about. He was also working toward becoming a realtor. He had goals. He had dreams. He wanted to build something bigger for his future. But Tyrone wasn't just about work. He used his platform to motivate others. He would post videos talking about relationships, loyalty, and respect. One of his most repeated messages was this: find somebody to build with, not just chill with. He believed in real love, the kind that lasts, the kind that grows. He also spoke out against cheating and playing games in relationships. He wanted people to understand the value of commitment. His family describes him as someone with a heart that was too good for this world. His mother, Renee, is a businesswoman who raised her sons with love and strength. Tyrone was so close to his mother that he had her face tattooed on his body. That's how much she meant to him. Renee called him her sunset and superstar. She posted about him constantly, showing the world how proud she was. But Tyrone's death brought Renee a pain no mother should ever feel. He was the last son she gave birth to, and he was her 3rd son to die. 3 sons. Gone. The grief in her posts is raw and real. She writes about losing him, asking why he had to leave her. She talks about how the pain hits different when it's the last child you brought into this world. Tyrone's father, Tyrone Sr., is also heartbroken. In a video shared online, he said he woke up in a graveyard next to his own father's grave, asking God for answers. He said his guts are on the ground. He's walking in the spirit because his flesh can't handle the pain. Tyrone's aunt, Natasha, has been one of the loudest voices demanding justice. She's been on social media, going live, sharing details, and making sure people don't forget what happened to her nephew. She's made it clear. Tyrone was not a woman abuser. He never put his hands on a woman. That wasn't who he was. Tyrone also had a son, a little boy who keeps asking the family one heartbreaking question. What happened to my daddy? And no one can give him a clear answer. Tyrone was a father, a son, a nephew, a provider, a man who believed in love and loyalty. He gave everything to the woman he was with. He showed her off online. He spoiled her. He loved her publicly and proudly. And now, his family is left asking, why is he dead? The woman at the center of this story goes by several names online. Lulu. Lou. Her real name is Kiara. Some sources say her Instagram handle was at that damn Lulu. Tyrone and Kiara were together for about 3 years. And if you only looked at their social media, you'd think they were the perfect couple. Tyrone posted constantly, videos of him, surprising her with gifts, scavenger hunts he set up just to make her smile, public displays of affection that some people found sweet and others found uncomfortable. There was one video that went viral for all the wrong reasons. Tyrone was sucking Kiara's toes in public. People couldn't stop talking about it. Some laughed, some cringed. Others said it showed just how far he was willing to go to please her. He took her out to restaurants where they danced together while other customers watched. He surprised her on Valentine's Day with elaborate setups. He bought her clothes, shoes, and anything else she wanted. On camera, Tyrone was always smiling, always laughing, always saying, "I love you." But if you watched closely, something felt off. Tyrone would say, "I love you" in almost every video. And Kiara? She rarely said it back. Sometimes she'd smile. Sometimes she'd laugh. But the words didn't come as easily from her. People in the comment section started to notice. They said her laugh sounded fake, forced, like she was going through the motions but not really feeling it. One commenter said it looked like she was mocking him. Others pointed out that Tyrone seemed way more invested in the relationship than she did. He was the one planning, the one giving, the one showing up. A Facebook friend who claimed to know both of them personally left a comment after Tyrone's death. They said Tyrone was always showing up and giving, that he went above and beyond for Kiara. The commenter said they were deeply disturbed by what happened because they saw how much Tyrone loved her. Another person who watched their content said it seemed like Kiara loved what Tyrone could do for her, not who he actually was. The internet had a word for what Tyrone was doing. They called him a simp. It's a term used to describe someone, usually a man, who does too much for someone who doesn't appreciate it, who gives everything and gets little in return. Some people defended Tyrone. They said he was just a man in love, showing affection the way he knew how. Others said he was being taken advantage of, that Kiara saw him as a wallet, not a partner. Then there's the detail about Kiara's injury. She had a broken ankle and wore an orthopedic boot. In videos, Tyrone joked about it. He talked about her taking her first car ride after surgery. He even made a joke about a position with the boot. The family later said that because of this injury, Kiara wasn't supposed to be driving. Tyrone was usually the one behind the wheel. But here's the thing. There are videos of Kiara driving even with the boot on. So the question becomes, if she could drive before, why was she driving on the day Tyrone died? And if she couldn't drive safely, why was she behind the wheel at all? Looking back at their relationship now, the cracks are easier to see. The imbalance, the one-sided affection, the performances for the camera that didn't quite match the energy between them. Tyrone's Aunt Natasha said it best during one of her live videos. She said Kiara tolerated Tyrone. She didn't love him the way he loved her. She was there for what he could give her, the gifts, the trips, the attention. But love? Real love. The family doesn't believe Kiara ever truly had that for Tyrone. And when you watch the videos now, knowing how the story ends, it's hard not to wonder. Were there signs all along? Was Tyrone so blinded by his feelings that he missed the red flags? Or did he see them and choose to love her anyway, hoping that one day she'd love him back the same way? We'll never know. What we do know is this. The relationship that looked so perfect online was about to end in the worst way possible. In December of 2025, Tyrone and Kiara decided to take a trip together for Christmas. They rented a cabin in Gainesville, Florida. It was a tiny house, the kind people rent for romantic getaways. At first, everything seemed fine. Tyrone posted videos from the trip. The two of them looked happy, smiling, laughing, enjoying the holiday together. To anyone watching online, it looked like another perfect moment in their relationship. But that's not what people who were actually there saw. According to Tyrone's Aunt Natasha, neighbors near the cabin noticed something. They saw Kiara being aggressive toward Tyrone. The cabin owner also witnessed this behavior. No one knows exactly what was said or what happened, but it was clear that tension was building between them. The argument that would later turn deadly didn't start on the road. It started at that cabin. On December 27th, a Saturday, Tyrone and Kiara checked out of the cabin early. They didn't stay for the full trip. Instead, they drove to a nearby hotel and checked in there. This is where the timeline becomes extremely important. Hotel security cameras captured Tyrone walking into the lobby. The footage shows him standing, moving normally, checking in without any issues. His Aunt Natasha confirmed this after speaking with investigators. She said Tyrone appeared fine and unharmed at the hotel. No injuries, no limping, no signs of distress. He was completely okay. After checking into the hotel, Tyrone and Kiara left together. They got into the car and drove to a Papa John's pizza restaurant. According to investigators, this Papa John's is less than 10 minutes away from the bridge where Tyrone would later be found. Again, security cameras were rolling. The footage from Papa John's shows Tyrone walking into the restaurant. He orders pizza and wings. He's seen standing at the counter, waiting for his food. He appears well. Not in distress, not injured. Just a man picking up dinner. He leaves the restaurant carrying the food. Everything looks normal. Aunt Natasha said it during one of her live videos, and it's worth repeating. Tyrone went to the hotel and was caught on camera. He went to Papa John's and was caught on camera. And in both places, everything was working fine. All bones, all limbs. Nothing was broken. Nothing was fractured in his head. He was perfectly fine. But here's what makes this so disturbing. Papa John's and the bridge where Tyrone was found are less than 10 minutes apart. That means in the short drive from the restaurant to that bridge, something happened. Something violent. Something that left Tyrone with a fractured skull and fatal head trauma. Aunt Natasha believes the argument that started at the cabin continued in the car. She said Kiara was still upset, still going at him, and by the time they left Papa John's with the food, the tension between them hadn't gone away. She said that between Papa John's and the bridge, something had to happen. And she's right. Because less than 10 minutes after Tyrone walked out of that restaurant, healthy and unharmed, he was found lying in the road under a bridge, unconscious, bleeding from the head, dying. The pizza and wings he just bought were scattered on the ground around him. Everything was fine. No injuries. No nothing. But in less than 10 minutes, Tyrone Davis Jr. would be found dying under a bridge. So what happened in those 10 minutes? That's the question everyone is asking, and the only person who knows the answer isn't talking. Now, what I'm about to tell you next is where this case gets truly disturbing. But first, I need to ask you something. If you're finding this case as troubling as I am, show your support by hitting that like button right now. It helps us bring attention to cases like Tyrone's that deserve justice. It pushes this story to more people who need to hear it. And I want to hear from you. What do you think happened in those 10 minutes? Drop your theories in the comments. I read every single one, and I want to know what you're thinking. Now, let's get into what happened under that bridge. After leaving Papa John's, Tyrone and Kiara got into the car and started driving. According to Kiara, they were arguing during the drive. She claims that Tyrone asked her to let him out of the car so he could cool off. She says she pulled over to let him out. But her story about how she pulled over has changed. In some versions, she says the car was at a full stop. In others, she claims she was still moving at around 25 miles per hour. Kiara says that after letting Tyrone out, She drove for about 5 minutes to a gas station. When she got there, she saw emergency vehicles in the area. That's when she says she turned around and went back. And that's when she found out Tyrone was hurt. But there's another witness, someone who saw what happened under that bridge. A homeless man was living under the same bridge where Tyrone was found. He later told people that he saw Tyrone stumbling and falling. He said Tyrone staggered for a moment and then collapsed. The pizza box and wings that Tyrone had just picked up, they flew out of the box and scattered across the ground. Sometime between 2 and 5 in the afternoon, passers-by discovered Tyrone lying in the roadway. A nurse and a couple were driving by when they saw him. He was unresponsive. Blood was coming from his head. At that moment, no one knew who he was. He had no identification on him, no wallet, no driver's license, nothing with his name. He was a John Doe. But here's what makes this even stranger. Tyrone always carried 3 phones with him. Always. His family confirmed this. He also always carried 2 guns for protection, and of course his wallet. So where were they? None of those items were found at the scene. No phones, no guns, no wallet, no ID. Later, investigators confirmed that all of these items were still inside Kiara's Infiniti truck. So if Tyrone got out of the car to cool off, why didn't he take anything with him? Why would he leave without his phone, without his wallet, without any way to contact anyone or identify himself? The 911 dispatch report adds another layer to this story. According to the report, a passing driver called in saying they saw a pedestrian get hit by a sedan. The caller didn't just drive by. This Good Samaritan stopped their own vehicle and used it to block traffic. They did this to protect Tyrone's body from being hit by other cars while they waited for help to arrive. The location where Tyrone was found is important. It's on Southwest Archer Road near the I-75 underpass in Gainesville, Florida. People who live in the area say this road is very dangerous. They say homeless people often walk in the middle of the street and accidents happen. But this wasn't an accident. Paramedics arrived and rushed Tyrone to HCA Hospital on Archer Road. His injuries were severe. He had blunt force trauma to his head. His skull was fractured. Doctors did everything they could, but the damage was too great. Tyrone's family was called to the hospital. His mother, Renee, his father, Tyrone Sr., his aunt, Natasha, and other family members rushed to be by his side. According to the family, doctor told them that if Tyrone could show any sign of life, they would stop the tests and take him into surgery. The family begged. They prayed. They pleaded with Tyrone to give them a sign. But there was nothing. Tyrone was brain dead. After about 24 hours, Tyrone Davis Jr. was pronounced dead. The family wasn't notified until Sunday, the day after he was found. His mother, Renee, sat in that hospital room and watched her son die, her last son, the third son she had lost. The medical examiner conducted an autopsy. The results were clear. Tyrone died from blunt force trauma to the head. The fracture to his skull was severe, the kind of injury that doesn't come from a simple fall. The ruling was official. Homicide. This was not an accident. Someone killed Tyrone Davis Jr. Now the question becomes, who? Kiara says she let him out of the car and drove away. She says she didn't know he was hurt until she came back and saw the emergency vehicles. But the family doesn't. Believe her, they have too many questions, too many things that don't add up. And the biggest question of all, if Kiara's story is true, then who hit Tyrone? And why was he found without any of his belongings? The answers to those questions could reveal the truth about what really happened under that bridge. After Tyrone was found under that bridge, Kiara's behavior raised serious questions for his family. First, why wasn't the family notified right away? Tyrone was found sometime between 2 and 5 in the afternoon on Saturday, but his family says they weren't called until Sunday, a full day later. Where was Kiara during that time, and why the delay? According to the family, Kiara went back to the hotel alone and packed up all of Tyrone's belongings. She did this by herself. But remember, she had a broken ankle and was wearing an orthopedic boot. How did she carry everything out on her own? When Kiara spoke to hospital staff, she told them that she and Tyrone were heading back too. the cabin when the incident happened. But that was a lie. They had already checked out of the cabin on Saturday morning. They had checked into a hotel instead. So why lie about where they were going? Then there's the bank account. Tyrone shared a bank account with his sister. The day after Tyrone was pronounced dead at the hospital, that account was drained to zero. All the money was transferred out.
Why did you transfer the money out of his bank account that he said shared with my sister the day after he was pronounced deceased at the hospital? My sister and T2 share a bank account.
The family says the money was moved to his single account by himself. But Tyrone was dead. He couldn't have done it. Kiara had access to Tyrone's phone. She had access to his bank accounts. And the very next day after he died, the money was gone. Aunt Natasha asked the question everyone was thinking. Why did you transfer the money out of his bank account the day after he was pronounced deceased? She continued, you got access to his cell phone. You got access to his bank accounts. The family believes Kiara took the money while Tyrone's body was still in the hospital. After Tyrone's death, Kiara started deleting everything online. She deleted her social media accounts. She deleted YouTube content. She disabled comments on her Instagram before shutting it down completely. Before she deleted everything, she left one comment. It said, I do love him with all of my heart. His death was an accident outside of either one of our control. But if it was truly an accident, why delete everything? Why erase your digital footprint? Why not cooperate fully with investigators and help them find out what happened? The family also keeps coming back to one question. How was Kiara driving with an orthopedic boot on her foot? Which foot was the boot on? Was it her right foot? The one used for the gas and brake pedals? If so, how was she able to drive safely? The family said she don't drive. Her ankle broken. Tyrone was usually the one behind the wheel because of her injury. Yet on the day Tyrone died, Kiara was allegedly driving, and according to her story, Tyrone asked to get out of the car while they were moving or had just stopped. None of it makes sense to the family. The lies, the deleted accounts, the drained bank account, the questions about her ability to drive. All of it points to someone who has something to hide. Tyrone's family has been clear from the beginning. They said, we leave with somebody. We come back with who we leave with. She made it back. He didn't. Aunt Natasha has been leading the fight for answers. She spoke with detectives. She visited the hotel where they stayed. She went to the Papa John's, where Tyrone picked up his last meal. She stood at the bridge where he was found. She's determined to get justice for her nephew. Father Tyrone Sr. is heartbroken. He said his guts are on the ground. He said he woke up in a graveyard next to his own father's grave, asking the Lord for answers. Mother Renee posts about her sonson. She talks about the tattoo Tyrone had of her face. She mourns the loss of her third son. And Tyrone's little boy keeps asking one question. What happened to my daddy? The family can't give him an answer. Not yet. But they have theories. Aunt Natasha believes that between Papa John's and the bridge, something had to happen. She thinks Tyrone may have been hit in the head with something inside the car, maybe a bottle, maybe something else. She believes he fell out of the vehicle while holding the food, already unconscious. Then another car may have run over him, or maybe Kiara hit him with the car on purpose. The family also wonders if someone else was involved, maybe another person Kiara was seeing. Aunt Natasha said if the roles were reversed, her nephew would have been under the jailhouse by now. Kiara is not welcome at Tyrone's funeral. Aunt Natasha made that clear. She said, this woman got the nerve to think she going to come to his funeral. You think you going to come to his funeral? I think you better get a rain check, baby. Welcome to Alabama. The family is asking anyone who saw something to say. Something. The Gainesville Police Department is taking all calls. The family's inboxes are open. They're holding a candlelight vigil on January 10th from 3 to 6 in the afternoon at All Park in Broward County. Car clubs, friends, and the community are all invited. The family's chant is simple. 1, 2, 3. Justice for Dro. As of January 7th, 2026, the Gainesville Police Department is still investigating Tyrone's death. The case has been officially ruled a homicide, Investigators are focusing on this as a pedestrian vehicle collision. But so far, no arrests have been made. According to the family, nobody's talking. Witnesses or suspects are staying silent. But the family says the investigators are doing their job heavy. The case is wide open. They're going full force. One thing that stands out about this case is the lack of mainstream media coverage. Most of the information has spread through social media, YouTube, and family Facebook Lives. Tyrone's Aunt Natasha has been going live regularly to keep people updated and to demand answers. Investigators are examining several key pieces of evidence. They have hotel security footage showing Tyrone checking in unharmed. They have Papa John's security footage showing him ordering food and leaving without any signs of distress. They also have dispatch recordings from the 911 call. The autopsy report shows blunt force trauma to the head that is inconsistent with a simple fall. Witness statements are being reviewed. This includes the homeless man who saw Tyrone stumbling and collapsing, the Good Samaritan who blocked traffic with their vehicle, and the passersby who found Tyrone and called for help. Investigators are also looking at Kiara's vehicle. They're reviewing phone records and bank transactions. But there are still so many unanswered questions. Why was Tyrone found without any identification or belongings? How did Kiara access his account so quickly after his death? Why? Are there conflicting stories about how she pulled over? What caused injuries that are inconsistent with a fall? Was there another vehicle or person involved? These are the questions investigators are trying to answer. And until they do, Tyrone's family will keep fighting. They will keep speaking out. They will keep demanding justice because Tyrone Davis Jr. deserves answers. And his family won't stop until they get them. This case is far from over, and Tyrone's family needs our help keeping his story alive. If you believe Tyrone deserves justice, please share this video. Hit that share button and spread it across your social media. The more people who know about this case, the more pressure there is for answers. I want to know, what's your thought? Do you think this was an accident or something more? There are lessons we can learn from Tyrone's story that might help protect others. First, watch for relationship red flags. If you're always the one saying, "I love you" first, or if your partner never says it back, that's a sign. If your relationship looks perfect on social media but feels wrong in real life, pay attention to that feeling. And if friends or family express concern about your relationship, listen to them. Second, protect your finances. Be careful with shared bank accounts, especially early in a relationship. Keep separate accounts with clear boundaries. Set up beneficiaries properly so the right people have access if something happens to you. Third, never exit a vehicle during an argument, especially on highways or unfamiliar roads. Share your location with family or friends using apps. Establish check-in times. Keep your identification and valuables with you. And finally, love yourself first. Never love someone more than you love yourself. Build with someone who builds with you. Red flags ignored become red carpets to tragedy. This is the story of a man who loved too much, a woman who may have loved too little, and 10 minutes that changed everything. As of today, no arrests have been made. Kiara has not been charged. The investigation continues. But Tyrone's family refuses to let his story fade. They're demanding answers. They're demanding justice, and they need our help. If you're in the Broward County area, the family invites you to the Candlelight Vigil on January 10th from 3 to 6 in the afternoon at All Park. Show up. Show support. Show that Tyrone's life mattered. Before you go, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We'll be following this case and bringing you updates as they develop. If you haven't already, hit that like button and share this video. And one more time, drop your theories in the comments. Do you think Kiara is responsible? Was someone else involved? What do you think happened under that bridge?